Guys, do you see what I see?
It's so blinding. I can't see it.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. Does anyone have a pair of sunglasses?
Here you go.
Woo! Tell us what you see. Tell us what you see.
Don't hold back on us. What is it?
Guys, I see the brighter side.
The Brighter Side, a show that shows the brighter side of the world, sharing inspirational stories to uplift people's spirits and hearts, putting the light on others who are brightening up the world. Positive is our motto, and we shine it proudly.
Welcome to The Brighter Side. I am your host, Sarah Albertson. You know, we are always surrounded by bad news such as politics, car accidents, and so much more. So for the next 30 minutes, let's try to be more optimistic about the world we live in with real-life examples of people who are doing good in our world. Our guest today is Gina Kielb. Gina is the founder and creator of the hockey foundation named Jake Kielbs Hockey Foundation. Gina joins us here today on the show to give us a better insight in how the foundation started. Gina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
So, Gina, can we start off by explaining to our listeners what Jake Kielbs Hockey Foundation is?
So Jake Kielbs Hockey Foundation is really a hockey foundation for kids in our community who really don't have means or a way to get started into hockey. Hockey is kind of like a neglected sport here in Vegas. Well, prior to the Golden Knights coming here, I believe since they're here, it's going to grow. But prior to that, you know, hockey is not really big here, and we don't really have a lot of sources to get into this sport. So our organization definitely opens that door to where we can get more kids to come and just really, you know, see what hockey is all about.
So how did your son get into hockey?
You know, it's funny because, like, I was born and raised in Southern California, and you know, hockey's big in California, but I don't even come from a hockey background. I come from a sports family, but not hockey. So he obviously got into hockey because of me. Where that came from through me, I have no idea. But I've always loved hockey. Like, I grew up, I was an Anaheim Ducks fan, still am to this day. And when he was 4, I decided, hey, I want to put some skates on him, teach him how to get out there and ice skate, and just enrolled him in a beginner class.
Did you realize when you enrolled him at the age of 4 how expensive this sport was?
Yes, I did. And in California, they have, like, Play It Again Sports where it's like a used hockey store, and that's something that they don't have here in Vegas. So that was, like, another reason why we started the foundation, so that we can make it more accessible for kids. But even, you know, going to Play It Again Sports, it was still expensive, and I was a single mom at the time, and it was really hard.
So how long has the Hockey Foundation been running?
The Hockey Foundation's been around for about a year and a half.
So what was the first step you took to create it?
Well, it was really, like, to be honest, it was just an idea, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And I will never forget, I was at my son's game, and I just, you know, ran the idea in my mind, and I remember leaving his game really just upset at how the game was played with him. And I just remember thinking, like, everything I've put into this with my son, I can do for other people. And I just ran with it. I told myself, I'm like, really, what do I have to lose? You know?
Right. I actually, when you were talking about the Play It Again used sports store, we have that here in New York as well. I don't think people realize, honestly, how much it is. Like, I remember I played backup goalie for a little bit because I have a career in hockey as well, and the goalie pads alone, even used, would be like $500. So what kind of ways do you guys raise your money? Like, I understand that you're a foundation, but, like, what do you guys do to get people to donate?
Through our starter program, it's really just like they donate. Hockey families will donate their children's gear that they have grown out of. So we take that gear and we give it away to children who want to play. But through actual, like, funding, it's really just, you know, we got our first grant in July, so that was great. Our funding isn't very, I'm trying to think of the... It's not
You're trying to figure the word?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it comes and it goes, I guess you can say. But I find that we're growing more like at a faster rate. So we're getting that public support. And one of our ways that we are going to be getting, like, you know, consistent funding is we're offered the opportunity to start our own hockey league. So we are currently putting together a subsidiary nonprofit, which will be a youth hockey league, to where when we run that league, 50% of those proceeds or the funding will go back into the league, and then the other 50% will go into the foundation so that it can fulfill its mission.
So when do you plan on getting that up and starting?
That will actually start in November of this year.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how has your son, like, responded to you creating this foundation? I mean, like, you must be the ultimate hockey mom in his eyes.
I'd like to think so. That's not always the case, I think. I don't know, you know, I mean, we talk about it sometimes. Like, he'll come up to me and be like, well, you know, maybe you should do this, Mom. And I'm like, I don't know, we'll see, you know. But he doesn't really talk about it too much, you know, like, he understands it and all that stuff. And I try to get him involved. Like, you know, we do free hockey clinics every 3 months. And, like, I'll have him check in the kids, or he'll always be out there. And, you know, I think one of the goals I need to do is to get him more involved. But, you know, at the end of the day, he is just a kid, and he still wants to do kid things. But I'm hoping that when he gets a little bit older, he can start taking on more responsibility of the foundation, and then maybe one day when, you know, he's an adult and old enough, he can take it over and then continue that legacy and then maybe pass it down to his children.
Will you still continue this foundation if your son gets older and decides that this sport isn't for him?
Yes.
So you were saying earlier that part of your organization, you collect used equipment or equipment that children grow out of, and then you hand it to other people. Now, how do you find these people that are, like, in need? Like, how do you know that they're the ones that really need this equipment?
Pretty much like they just come to us. So, like, we have a hockey rink here that's pretty, like, well known and has pretty much where all of the youth hockey originates from. And so, like, I advertise in that rink. Like, we have dashers on both rinks, and, you know, we have our brochures to let people know. And then really, you know, it's just really about who you know and putting your name out there. Like, we try to do some marketing events here and there, and, you know, just being a hockey parent and being there, you know, I talk to different coaches, and it's word of mouth. It's just getting my name out there and then just knowing. And, you know, and then, I don't know, like, we're blessed. Like, our hockey, like, our starter program is one of our best programs that we have. And, you know, sometimes I'll get overwhelmed with gear donations, and then I'll be quiet for a little while, and then it picks up again. And so, and here, the hockey community is so much smaller, so everybody knows everybody. So if one parent's like, oh, yeah, you know, I got rid of my gear, another parent's like, oh, my gosh, who'd you give it to? And they're like, oh, we gave it to Jake Kielbs Hockey Foundation. And so that really has been, you know, one of our biggest contributors is, you know, word of mouth.
Could you explain more for our listeners what the starter program is?
So what our starter program is for any child who enrolls in a beginner program, if they contact the foundation, we'll provide them with a full set of hockey gear for free.
Now, is that a guarantee, like, every time a child signs up? Because, like you said, you have some times where you're getting so much equipment, but then you have other times where, you know, you're a little short on donations. I
would say 99%, like, we've been able to gear up all the kids. But, like, if I know that I'm getting low on something and I haven't, you know, gotten it from a family, I'll purchase it through the foundation. Like, a few months ago, I bought brand new sticks because I was short on sticks.
Right. Now, you were saying earlier how you advertised in the rink that, you know, the organization plays in. How else do you advertise to people?
That's really about it. I would say Facebook is a big one. And then, like, we try to do some marketing events during the year, but we really don't advertise a whole lot. I was able to get an article put in the Review Journal, which is our local newspaper here, back in March, which was helpful. But we don't really advertise a whole lot. And I think partly is just because we're only a year and a half old. So it's really about, you know, just making connections and all that.
Do you plan on expanding your marketing in the future?
Yeah, my my overall, or my long-term goal, I should say, is to bring my foundation into other communities that, need the support in youth hockey, and to be able to grow it.
How has the home rink that you started in responded to it when you came up with the idea and you got it all started? How helpful and supportive were they?
They were really supportive. I mean, we do our free hockey clinics every 3 months, and we did our first charity event back in May. So, I've gotten support.
What was your first charity event like?
Our first, for our fundraiser, or just our free hockey skills that we do every 3 months?
Your fundraiser.
My fundraiser, because I'm so unexperienced in the fundraising world, it was really stressful, just because of how many kids we had, and the organization of it all, but it ended up coming through, and obviously it was my first one, and we made some mistakes, and going forward I already know some of the mistakes that I want to correct, but overall we did really well. I mean, we raised $2,000 through our fundraising event. We gave away a lot of really cool stuff. I had a small pro shop in one of the smaller rinks here donate 10 pairs of brand new skates, and we just passed those away to kids, just randomly. We just gave them away. So we gave away a lot of cool stuff. We did a raffle. We sold some T-shirts. I think we had between 60 and 70 kids participate in it, so it was a really good turnout.
Wow, and you plan on doing more of those in the future?
Yes.
So you were saying that your son's been playing for how long now?
Let's see, he just turned 11. He's been playing since he was 4.
Wow. And do you personally, I know we spoke earlier and you said that you were still going to continue this foundation if he stops playing, but do you think he'll continue throughout a long time?
I do. I mean, even if I'm sure even when he gets older, I can see him being a coach or, giving back somehow. Even if he chooses not to run the foundation and not play hockey anymore, even right now, he'll be like, Mom, I want to coach, I want to go out there and help. And I'm like, okay, just wait a few more years. And, so I know he wants to do stuff.
So you collect used equipment, which is great, and then you reuse it for kids that are in need of it. Now, when you get this equipment, do you personally inspect it or look at it yourself, or have somebody do that? Because you don't want to give a piece of equipment that's missing something, that could potentially slip. For example, I always had a knee pad that would slip a lot, and I would bang my knee on the ice, and sometimes I would cut it open. Do you check the equipment to make sure it's 100% usable?
Yes. Yeah, and if it's not, then I just get rid of it.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break on the brighter side on 90.3 WHPC. Our guest today is Gina Kielb, the founder and creator of Jake Kielbs Hockey Foundation. We'll be right back.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to The Brighter Side. I am your host, Sarah Albertson. Our guest today is Gina Kielb, the founder and creator of Jake Kielbs Hockey Foundation. Gina, welcome back.
Thank you.
So one of the questions I've been meaning to ask you is, you're so involved in this hockey life, and you're so involved in your son's career and, helping other people. Are you a coach yourself?
I actually am not. I am literally just a hockey mom.
Do you ever want to become a coach?